Beautiful music. A warm welcome to one and all to our world famous Sunday gathering. If we haven't yet met, I'm Sandra Champlain, lovingly referred to as hostess with the mostest. We're glad you are here. First, a shout out to my dear friends Shirley Ann Sharp and Mary Alice Coleman for joining us today. Hi, ladies. They will be, well, let me just tell you how this goes a little bit. Our Sunday gathering was created over 5 years ago to bring some inspiration and light into the world and let us know that through those dark times that we can stick together, there's hope, there's faith, and together we can really bring some joy. So Sunday gathering was created. As you see, this is number 266, which is hard to believe. But each week we bring words of inspiration and joy and hope, and we have a medium demonstration included just so that all of us are reminded just how close love is, that our life is for a reason, that we do have a community, and we can achieve anything together. We really can. So today, Mary Alice will be doing our opening prayer and also our address, talking about those times of uncertainty and how we can get through the tougher times in life. We've got the beautiful Shirley Ann Sharp, who will be doing our demonstration of mediumship and our closing prayer. I will be here playing the music behind the scenes, of course, doing the reading and leading you into the healing and the little bits and bobs and announcements and things in between. So we want to welcome you. We're usually together about 90 minutes-ish. The link you use to join us today can be is the replay link about an hour after the Sunday gathering ends. So if you find yourself ever missing the beginning or have to leave before the end, there's an easy way to watch. So I want to welcome you. Just sit back and relax. Thank you for being part of our community. We have a chat box. We have many people letting us know where you're from, what brings you to the Sunday gathering. We love that. It's a way for you to participate. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mary Alice for our opening prayer.
It's so wonderful to be here. It really is. So if you'll join me and close your eyes if you care to, and let's pray. Dear Divine Spirit, creative force of life that flows through the universe, and how privileged we are that you flow through us. We are gathered here today in this Sunday gathering so that we may open our lives and our minds and our souls and our hearts to what you want us to know and how to guide us. And I thank you that Shirley's here, as she will bring forth people, our loved ones, who will give messages. And what a divine gift that is, that we can be connected to those who are on the other side, as we say. Again, I thank you for this day, for the beauty of the earth. And for many of us, it's springtime. For others, it's fall. But the beauty of the earth that you've given us is so amazing and divine. Again, we thank you. Amen.
Thank you so much, Mary Alice. All right, and now the reading. Our theme, The Other Side of Uncertainty, reminds us that life's journey is often filled with unexpected turns and challenging landscapes. We all face moments, sometimes years, where the path ahead is unclear and the obstacles seem immense. During these times, faith and trust in ourselves and in something greater must become our guiding lights, even when they flicker dimly. It's in looking back at the times we've weathered the storm that we find strength and renewed hope. Today, I want to share not just one story, but several, each a powerful testament to the human spirit's extraordinary capacity to overcome profound adversity and emerge on the other side of uncertainty with resilience and inspiring achievements. I'll start with Helen Keller. Born into a world of sight and sound, a sudden illness plunged her into a no world of darkness and silence at just 19 months old. Imagine the profound isolation, the inability to connect, the sheer uncertainty of such an existence. Yet, with the unwavering dedication of her teacher, Anne Sullivan, Helen not only learned to communicate, but blossomed into a world renowned author, activist, and lecturer. Her journey from a darkness to a life of profound connection and contribution reminds us that even when we feel utterly lost, the potential for light and understanding remains. Then there is Nick Vujicic. Born without arms and legs, Nick faced unimaginable physical challenges and the emotional toll of feeling different and helpless. Yet Nick chose not to be defined by his limitations. He learned to live independently, embracing life with remarkable courage. He swims, surfs, writes, drives, and travels the world as a motivational speaker, sharing his message of hope and demonstrating that perceived limitations are not boundaries to what we can achieve. Nick's life shouts that even when we physically or emotionally feel incomplete, we possess an inner strength to overcome and connect deeply with others. Consider also the inspiring story of Jessica Cox, who was born without arms. Instead of seeing this as an insurmountable barrier, Jessica embraced the challenge. She learned to navigate the world using her feet with incredible dexterity, eventually becoming her dream of the world's first licensed armless pilot, flying an airplane with just her feet. Jessica's life is a soaring testament to the power of self-belief and the refusal to let physical differences dictate the boundaries of our aspirations. Her story teaches us that uncertainty about our capabilities can be overcome with unwavering determination. And finally, let us remember Bethany Hamilton, a gifted young surfer. Bethany's life took a dramatic turn when she lost her left arm in a shark attack at the age of 13. The physical and emotional trauma was immense. The uncertainty about her future in the sport she loved must have been overwhelming. Yet, with incredible courage and an unyielding spirit, Bethany returned to surfing just weeks later. She not only adapted, but went on to become a professional surfer, competing at a high level and inspiring millions with her resilience. Bethany's story reminds us that even after sudden and devastating loss, our passions and inner strength can guide us back to the things we love and help us not just to survive, but thrive on the other side of unimaginable uncertainty. These individuals, Helen, Nick, Jessica, and Bethany, each faced their own unique and profound challenges. They navigated immense uncertainty, moments of doubt, and perhaps feeling of deep darkness and isolation. Yet through their resilience, their faith in themselves and in something greater, and their unwavering determination, they not only overcame their obstacles, but they went on to inspire the world. Their stories remind us that no matter the darkness we face, no matter how uncertain the path ahead may seem, the human spirit possesses an incredible capacity for strength, hope, and triumph. May their courage inspire each of us to face our own uncertainties with renewed faith and the knowledge that we too can emerge on the other side stronger and perhaps even more purposeful than before. So that is our reading for today. I hope you have enjoyed it and it has inspired you. Next, we are going into our healing segment. For those of you who are unaware, we do here on the Sunday Gathering like to send our healing prayers and intentions to wherever in the world it's needed. We play a beautiful piece of music. Today, Mary Alice picked Let It Be by Sir Paul McCartney. And during the song, you can either watch the video or listen to it. You can offer that sincere intent that just let my prayers go to wherever it's needed. Those in the unseen world, I believe, use our human energy and they'll direct it to wherever it is needed in the world. And of course, some comes right back to us like a boomerang. When the song ends, the next voice you'll hear will be from wonderful Mary Alice for the address. So let me find our healing song for you now, and we'll sit for healing, followed by Mary Alice's address.
Okay, thank you for that. You know, Sandra, when you mentioned Helen Keller, it brought me back to when I was 8 years old and I was in a play about Helen Keller. It was, I played one of the orphans that Annie taught. And anyway, that was cool. Um, so when Sandra asked me to like speak about what's been on my mind or what I've been going through, and I thought, oh, people don't want to know that. And then I thought, you know what? Yes, because it's about the other side of uncertainty. And I know that all of us have had situations in our life at one time or another, if not many, where we were uncertain about something. And that uncertainty, when we look back, we go, oh, I got through that. I got through that. How did I get through that? Because when you're going through it, you're going, how did that happen? And I know in my life, I'm going to get personal here because I'm going to share a story about the past 3 years of my life, which have been pretty uncertain. And even though I know in my life I've been through some difficult times and challenges, and we get through it, and all is well, you you kind of have amnesia sometimes about how strong we really are and the things that we get through and the lessons that we learned and the spiritual growth and personal growth that we go through. Um, and I've been a coach for a long time, and I know how the brain functions to a degree. I mean, we're always learning about the brain and our emotions and everything else. And uh, but about 3 years ago, I knew it was time for me to move. And I was living in Portland. I had been there about 11 or 12 years, and all my friends had moved away. My daughters had moved away. And so for about 4 of those years, I was by myself. I mean, I knew my neighbors and I knew a few people, but the people closest to me were gone. And as the cost of living kept rising, and I'm on a certain, budget, and exponentially out of the blue, and I think some of us have experienced this, is suddenly your rent's up $300 a month, and then another $300 a month the next year. So this is how it was for me. I'm like, what's going on here? The whole state, or I mean, the whole country was going through this. So I thought, okay, it's time for me to move. And I remember having a discussion with one of my daughters. She lives in Arizona. She goes, Mom, just put your stuff in storage and move in with us for a while and figure things out. And I don't want to say I'm stubborn, but it was like, I know that there's a better way. I don't want to intrude on anybody. I don't want to be an imposition. I don't want to bother anybody. So I just said, thank you so much. I'll put that on the shelf. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while. And time went on, and different things were going on. And I'm kind of an introvert, so being in a place by myself isn't that difficult. Other friends I have who are extroverts are like, I'd go crazy if I were you. How do you do it? How do you do it? But I found a way. I mean, taking classes here with Carrie and Phil and books, and there was just always something to do. But yet that nudges, you got it, you got to go now. It's time. And the uncertainty of all that was like, oh man, what am I going to do? And being kind of, I don't want to say stubborn, but I guess I am, but I didn't want to impose on my daughter. And I thought, well, I have a nice car I can stay in for a while. I can put things in storage and I can literally stay in my car. And I'm not speaking hyperbolically. That was the truth. And then one day was during a class, I think, and I was with Carrie and Phil. And this is about a year after I talked to my daughter. No, maybe about 8 months after my daughter and I had that discussion. And my mom appeared to Carrie. Carrie's like, your mother's here. And she she's talking about one of your daughters asked for you to move in with them. And I'm like, and I'm a medium, I'm like, how does she know that? Even I still get so surprised by these things. And I'm like, oh, really? Do do tell more, you know? And so I saw that as a sign. And I thought, okay, I'll be in touch with my daughter and I will see if it's still okay. She's like, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Just yes. And Leo, my grandson, oh, he'll be so happy that you're here. And yes, definitely. So the pressure, I mean, I had to release that feeling of I'm going to be a bother. Because in a way, this was an answer. My mom told me what to do. And I'm like, okay, my mom was always telling me what to do, but my mom showed up and I went, okay, this is a direct guidance right here. So you do what you do, you sell things, you sort things, you give things to charity, you pack up. And my younger son came up from Southern California. He helped me. He did a lot of heavy lifting, literally, and getting prepared. And so the day came, and I had previously packed boxes and shipped some of my clothes to my daughter, and packed my car. And it was going to be a 3-day drive from Portland to Arizona. And off I went. Now, during this time, I had so much peace. I can't even tell you. All that anxiety of the uncertainty dissipated for a while. So I'm on this drive. It was a great drive. And I actually took 4 days because I stopped to see my son and my daughter-in-law, my grandbaby daughter. Oh gosh, it was so fun. And took an extra day with them. And then I was off. I arrived at Lindsay's house at 4:02 p.m. July 4th. And it was about 112 degrees. And it was crazy. I said, who lives like this? Anyway, so it was a beautiful greeting. My daughter had my room all set up, all beautiful, just so lovely with everything she knows I like. And she hung up my clothes and they greeted me so kindly. And I was just in tears because I was like, I could breathe. I can take a break and I can breathe. And while I was there, like that beginning of the, first few months, so well, during the whole time, made sure I was very helpful, babysat, took care of the dogs, did the dishes. I mean, whatever I could do to be helpful was wonderful. My end of the room was kind of separate from the rest of the house, so we had our privacy and all was well. And I would talk to my very good friend Laurel. We were very close and we talk all the time, and we've seen each other through a lot of stuff. I'd known her for like 22 years, and she was a very close friend of mine. And that helped me. And I was taking some classes and I was in touch with people. But as time went on, the gnawing started again. Like, I can't stay here. I know they want to remodel their house. I can't stay here. I've got to find something. I got to find something. I got to do what I have to do. I got to go somewhere. I got to do something. I got to do this. And my mind was going bananas. And it wasn't like me to do that, but I started to like panic inside. Laurel helped me keep the lid on. And she was such a blessing. And as the months went on, we celebrated Christmas together and whatnot. Then I got COVID. I spent all that time avoiding COVID and moved to Arizona and I got COVID and it was terrible. It was really bad. Um, and Laurel and I would speak a little bit, but I didn't have a lot of energy. And after a while, I found out Laurel was very sick. And she lived in Southern California. I gathered my strength. I was feeling better. I drove to California. She was in the hospital, and I was able to speak with her, not realizing that that was the last time I'd ever speak with her in my life. I really thought the doctors had a handle on this and that she was going to pull through. Her son is my former son-in-law, but we're still very close. He's part of the family. And that is his only family, was his mother. So we stayed in touch. I drove back to California. I drove back to Arizona. A week later, she passed away. I can't tell you the grief I was in. The grief, the profound loss of someone that you were very close with and you could share anything with at any time, both of us. It's just one of those friendships that are once in a lifetime. And her passing was so quick. It was just incredible. It was like I couldn't believe it. And any day I thought, oh, she's going to call me, or I'm going to get a text from her, or I pick up the phone and try and call her. It was like one of those strange things. But I drove back to California, spent time with my son-in-law, Andy, because he was devastated, as you can imagine. He had a lot of losses in his own personal life. Things were going on. And so I spent time with him in Laurel's apartment and going through things and chatting and memories and everything. And the whole time, though, inside me is, what am I going to do? Where am I going to go? How am I going to manage this? My health wasn't that great, so I couldn't like just go out and get a job. At my age, I turned 70 a couple weeks ago. And so there's a shame that was attached to all this. There was embarrassment to all this. Like, how did I get in this situation? This is just unreal. And many nights in a row, I would listen to Let It Be. 2 o'clock in the morning, I'd be up worrying, and I just turn that on and I'd listen. And it was especially special to me because Paul wrote that song because his mother, who had passed away, came to him in a dream. And in the dream, he was upset about something. He said during that time, there was something going on. I forgot what it was. And he said he had this dream. And his mother came to him. His mother's name was Mary, and told him, let it be. And that's how that song came to be. And the meaning of it's very special also. So a few months after Laurel's loss, and I lost my friend, I kept a lot inside. I had really nobody to talk to at this time. I started withdrawing. I was feeling depressed and embarrassed and like, I have to move on. And believe me, my daughter and her husband never, ever approached anything like, when you're leaving, time's up. They never did that. I put that pressure on myself. And about 4 or 5 months after Laurel passed, Andy texted me. Now, I got to back up a second. 2 days, and if I go on, Sandra, stop me because I don't. Okay. So a couple days before Andy texted me, I was talking to Laurel. I talk to her all the time. And I said, hey, I just am curious what it's like. I hope you're doing well. I'm so excited for you. And I said, listen, if you can you just show me something purple that will get my attention? Purple was her favorite color, different shades of purple. And then I just let it go. And then a couple days after that, Andy texted me, and he's kind of emoting and grieving, and I'm kind of holding space for him. And then the text stopped, and then a minute later, up pops this picture. The whole picture is full of these bright, beautiful purple flowers. I mean, unbelievable, bright, beautiful purple flowers, the whole picture. And I dropped my phone and I started laughing. I went, thank you, thank you. And I immediately, instead of texting, I called Andy. I said, you're not going to believe this. He said, what? Because he was feeling like, how come I can't feel my mother? I don't feel her presence. There's no signs, and I said, well, Andy, when we're under such grief and sadness, and we have this huge emotion as a wave going through us, it's hard to feel anything, isn't it? I mean, it's really hard. So just trust that she's there. And I said, I'm going to prove it to you right now. That picture you just sent me, I asked your mother for that. And she showed up through you with this picture. He goes, what do you mean? I said, I was talking to her the other day and I said, show me something purple. And then you sent me this picture of these beautiful purple flowers. And I know why you sent it. for two reasons. One, you were inspired to stop by the side of the road because you saw this field of these purple flowers and you knew your mother would love it. And because she would love it, I would like it. And you sent it to me, right? He goes, yeah. I said, I asked her to do that. He goes, what? You mean she kind of inspired me to stop on the side of the road to take that? I said, in a word, yes, I believe so. I said, and I asked for that. I said, she's here with you. She's here with you. And so for him, for that moment, there was, for him and his uncertainty of how life was going to be, he had that calmness. And I was like, this is insane. This is so amazing. And that certainty came about for me that she heard me, that she knew what we both needed at this time. So I wanted to share that with you because they know and they are around. Now, sometimes we won't always get an answer like that, but I do believe she did that for Andy's sake more than mine. So that was amazing to me. And as life went on, as the months went on, and this mounting pressure for me to like find a place to live, where am I going to go? What can I afford? How can I do this? This is like, what am I going to, I mean, the whole thing. And that, again, the pressure was on me. There was one day after several months, I was like, I sat down in the morning and I had the house to myself. They had gone. I was watching the dogs for the day. And those dogs, oh my God, they were my emotional support. I love their dogs. And I had it out. And I literally was like, listen, God, listen, guys, listen, whoever can hear me, enough is enough. I keep praying. I keep asking. What do you want me to do? I'll do anything. I just need that direction, that guidance, that something, because I've tried everything I know to do. And in that emotion, I could actually feel. It's like feel. It's like I didn't hear it, but I heard it, felt it. It was like, let it go or let it be. But it was like, let it go, just let it go, let it go. We got you covered, let it go. And my mind was like, oh yeah, really? You know, I was like really at a battle. We were really struggling together here. And I said, okay, I will. And I was like, ugh. And then so as time went on, about a month after that, I was on the app. I signed up for different apps. You know, there's Zillow, there's Rent Me, there's all these different places that you can sign up and every day they sent you an email of possible choices or places because I put in my criteria. And all those months there was like nothing. It was like nothing clicked. And this one day it was like, wait, what? And I'm reading this. I'm like, this seems too good to be true. What? And it was a brand new townhouse build community. And they had just finished phase one. And they wanted people to move in. So the incentive, the rent was like unbelievable. I was like, this is amazing. And I said, where is this? So I looked up the address and it was in Utah. I went, Utah? Never thought of Utah. Never thought of moving to Utah. And even though my older daughter's there in her family, but never considered it. And so I called my daughter and I said, where's this place? And she said, oh, Mom, it's like 8 minutes from where I am. I went, what? She goes, yes. She goes, oh my gosh, you're thinking of moving here? And she got all excited. And I'm like, I don't know, but it came up in my search. And so she drove over. She met with the property manager. She took videos of different places and whatnot. Long story short, I ended up in an end unit, which is what I really desired. And one of my prayers and hopes was to have a view of some kind. Everywhere I've lived, I've been able to have a view, even of a beautiful tree in front of the yard or something nature. And when she showed me the video, she sent the video, she goes, well, this is what this is like, and this is this and this. And she goes, Mom, look. And she opened the shutters on this window in the living area, and it's a view of the Wasatch Mountains. And they were snow-capped. And I went, that's mine. This has got to be mine. I immediately, within 4 days, I had the place secured, had the mover secured, had a date for move in, and I had 2 weeks to pack up and get ready and drive out here. So there was that relief, wasn't there, of the uncertainty of that relief. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I can't believe it. This is too good to be true kind of thing. And so the uncertainty of all of this and all this worrying and all this dreading and all this, what are people going to think of me? And this is terrible. And this is, I really got down on myself for a long time, almost a year, just struggling with this depression, struggling with this, who do I talk to about this, and the grief, loss of my friend. And it was quite a time. Now, when I say this, I know all of you have things that you've been through, the same or similar or different kind of struggles of grief and loss, and you're in the middle of something, and how's this going to work out? And I understand that. And again, my heart goes out to you, because I know, especially if you're in the middle of something right now, it is not fun. And there is the worry, and we do lose faith sometimes. We forget to trust. I forgot to listen to Let It Be for several months in the middle of the night. I forgot that my timing isn't their timing. And so it was just a few days ago when I was going all through this in my mind and just really praying and being grateful that I'm here, I'm settled. Still have a few more boxes to go through, but for the most part, I'm settled. And it dawned on me. I went, you know why it took so long? They were building this place. This place was being built. It wasn't ready for me yet. And I went, oh, dang it. And I fretted for all those months, thinking all kinds of things, that I was a loser, that I couldn't do this, and what's going to go on. And at least I have my car I can live in. And here I am. And it's beautiful here. It's absolutely stunning. We're a mile high, but we're in a valley. And anywhere you go, you're driving, you're seeing mountains, anywhere you go, no matter what direction. And it's the most stunning, beautiful place. And I've seen a lot of our country. So this is just absolutely amazing. And I get to be here. And this is how good and how grateful I am that even though I worried and I doubted and I was like, where are you kind of thing, shaking my fist, and they still loved me enough to put me here. And I'm so grateful for that. I can't even tell you. And it reminds me once again, it's going to be okay in the long run. It's crappy when we go through it, but it's going to be okay. And I can say that because I know I've been through stuff. You've been through stuff, and we get through it, and we grow and we learn. I mean, that is the goal. So I wanted to share that. And especially if you're younger, I don't know the age group. If you're going through difficult times, just know that you're going to get through it. And in that one song in the beginning, it says, we have what we need within us. And sometimes it seems so obscure. I'm like, well, where is it? I don't know. I don't know. Because we feel lost in everything. But they show up for us, and they're doing the work. They're building in the background. This place was being built during this whole time. I was worrying. They work for us. They do. I don't even have the words for it, but things are going on behind us that we don't know. And when when we're going through stuff, it's hard to hear, well, keep the faith, all is well, it's going to be great. And you know that up here. I mean, I knew eventually, but just all the loss of my friend, and I kind of lost communication with this community, and I kind of shuttered down. I just kind of kept to myself, and that's never a good idea. It's never a good idea. I know there were people I could have reached out to, but I didn't want to bother anybody. That's been my whole thing in my life, is I don't want to bother anybody. So thank you for letting me share this, because there always is the better side of uncertainty. And The next phase of uncertainty that may come up, who knows when. I pray I remember this. I'll come back to the Sunday gathering and watch it so I know. But yes, things get better and it's going to be better. And they know, our loved ones know on the other side, our guides know, our angels know. And they're always working on our behalf, whether we feel it or not. So thank you. Thank you for letting me share that.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Alice. I think I speak for all of us, sending you so much love, sharing your journey, and also showing us what it is to be vulnerable and really share from the heart. I think each and every one of us could hear ourselves in your journey, and we've all faced uncertainties. So, friends, let this just be a lesson when you share from your heart and you're vulnerable. You're so darn lovable. You really are. And I want to say one more thing. When I was thinking about getting dressed a little while ago, a little voice in my head says, "Wear the purple." I'm not kidding. I'm like, okay. I thought it was me, wear the purple. So with that, a
Thank
lot of
you.
thanks to Mary Alice. Friends, we're going to move on now to our demonstration of mediumship as we just soak in everything that we just heard right now. Shirley Ann is our beautiful medium here today, coming to us from New Zealand, and she woke up real early to be with us today. Shirley Ann is not only an excellent medium, but she's been part of the family since the beginning. You'll catch her often facilitating some of Carrie and Phil's mediumship groups, being a tutor. She is just a warm and loving soul. So we couldn't be happier to have Shirley Ann here as well today. So if you're unfamiliar with how we do our medium demonstrations here on the Sunday Gathering, I'm here to let you know. First of all, our loved ones are still people. They're still people. We still have our own personalities, which is great. I think the negative voice, that voice of uncertainty, that disappears, but all the good stuff sticks with us. Shirley Ann has her own way of working with our spirit friends and family. They can easily be right by your side right now, and then putting images and feelings and thoughts in Shirley Ann's mind. How they multitask, we'll know someday, but they can. So you'll hear Shirley Ann give a few bits of information about the spirit person that she is working with. So we want everybody on the edge of your seat. Now, this person that she describes is physically deceased. Okay, so they're in the unseen world, in the spirit world. Could be your loved one, could be a family member, could be a friend, could be somebody you worked with, could be somebody a little distant. Sometimes they work in weird ways, but only they know how they work. So we really listen in. We want everybody in our community to listen in. Can you recognize this person that's being described? Okay. It's almost like your soul gives you a little nudge, like, hey, I think she's talking about the person I know. We want you to be able to accept all the information, because right now we have just over 150 people here with us. So when she gives a description of the person, and you can understand that as your person, we want you to press your raise hand button. So this is the time for everybody to find that raise hand button on your device and just press it and just see how it works. If you're on an iPad or a phone or some other device, you might need to find the three little dots first, and then there's the raise hand button. Okay. So you'll see it goes from raise hand to lower hand. Why is this important, you may ask? Well, because sometimes there's two or more people that can understand all the information. So we want you to, again, to really listen in clearly, closely. Shirley Ann will continue to work so that ideally those who don't fit the description, you'll press the lower hand button, and we're in a perfect world left with one person with their hand raised. Well, this is technology, and sometimes things don't happen all the way I like planned. But as we're okay with uncertainty, as we are, we eventually get to the right person. If that person is you, on my side, I press a magic button. You're going to get a pop-up on your screen, and this unmute button will appear. It says, host would like you to unmute, and you'll see the button. We just need your voice. Don't worry, we won't see your face. Cameras remain off. And when I say we need your voice, we just need one of three responses from you. Now, this goes for our Sunday gathering or any time you work with a medium at a demonstration or one-on-one, we ask that you let the medium do the work. We're really trying to raise the level of integrity with mediums on planet Earth. We are. All we need from you is a yes, no, or I don't know to the evidence that Shirley Ann brings. Now, if something doesn't fit, please say no. No simply means new opportunity. Be honest, be open, be vulnerable, just as we just saw Mary Alice be. Let Shirley Ann do the work. Yes, no, or I don't know. Now, in an ideal world, I say ideal because it happens every Sunday gathering. So why should number 266 be any different? Those of us in the community, we listen in to how close this loved one is. Listen into the messages because you might say, I could use some of that myself. I could. Take it for yourself. There is not a doubt in my mind that the people that work through our mediums are here to serve all of us. Now, you may get the message today, but believe you me, we're going to take it on board ourselves. I don't know how they pick who's going to come through. We usually have probably about 3 or 4 people that come through. But please take those words on and those messages for yourself. Also, please just witness how close they are. They can easily, like I said, be with us and then also just hop in to Shirley Ann, have her energy works, and be there with her as well. So that's how our medium demonstration goes. These people that come through, they're really here for all of us. But please know they represent all of our loved ones. They're so cozy right by your side right now, not just on a Sunday gathering. You know, they give you your privacy. Absolutely, they do. But so much, they're part of our life, witnessing each and every moment. They do. We always like to play a piece of music before we go into our demonstration. Shirley Ann has picked this song and our closing song, in fact. But it's Whitney Houston and Mariah Carey with a message really to believe, really believe. So we're going to hear the song. Just picture your loved ones. Think memories of great times you've had together, if you like. I think all of those little actions that we do boost that energy. So let me find the song, and then we'll be right back with Shirley Ann. What a powerful song. Hi, Shirley Ann.
Hi. Yes, Sandra, what a powerful song. The two fabulous singers, and actually I want to thank Mary Alice for that song. She brought it through to my mind. It just wonderful. And thank you for being so vulnerable on this 266th episode. My goodness. Who would have thought, hey? Who would have thought? And it never ceases to amaze me that we are all over the world. But as I move my mind to the spirit world to begin this demonstration, I actually feel like I have a gentleman here, and I feel like I'm looking for my wife. I feel like I'm looking for my wife here today, and she would have a memory of me fixing the roof. And I know she was there at the time when I was fixing the roof. So, Sarah, just to begin, Sandra, just to begin with, can we throw that out, please?
Absolutely. Ladies, can you recognize that information? Your husband's in the spirit world, and you were there when he was fixing the roof. If yes, press your raise hand button for us, please. I feel all the minds thinking right now. Was I there? No hands are raised just yet, Shirley.
Okay. Then, Sandra, you brought up a very good point. If you weren't there, you knew he was fixing the roof. There's a husband here who was fixing the roof. A memory of your husband, he had fixed the roof. We still have no hands.
No hands up just yet. Oh, Jeanette's got her hand raised. Let's talk to Jeanette. If you could unmute yourself there, Jeanette. Hello. Hi.
Hello.
Jeanette, can you understand that at some point your husband was up a ladder fixing the roof?
Yes, he did a terrible job.
Because I can feel the nails dropping. You would understand there were nails in the guttering, and I feel him muttering away to himself.
Yeah.
But there was absolutely no way this gentleman was going to pay for a professional to come and do it.
True.
But I feel at the end of the day, a professional had to be called. You would understand that.
Yes, I had to call one after his passing to come fix the roof properly.
Fix the roof properly. Now, also, your husband is actually bringing through a piece of jewelry that he bought for you. You'd be familiar with a bracelet that he bought for you.
Not a bracelet.
Not a bracelet, but you are familiar with a piece of quite delicate jewelry that he bought for you.
Yes.
Okay, because he's bringing through the memory of when he actually gave it to you. It was quite a romantic you and he moment, I feel.
Yes.
And just going back to the roofing, I know this man would try his hand to everything. He he would seriously give it a go.
He'd try. Yeah. He was pretty good with the electric, though.
Yeah. But you would understand he did have a wee workshop, and I feel like there were bottles of bolts and screws and things like that. He would collect them because one day I might need them.
Yep.
But it was a very organized workshop, I have to say.
Yeah, somewhat.
Well, organized to him. If you said you needed a Phillips screwdriver, he would know exactly where it
Yeah,
was. If you said I need a
that's true.
Phillips screw, he would know exactly where it was.
Yes.
Now you would understand also with this gentleman, because I feel at some point you actually were quite ill, and I feel like this gentleman nursed you.
Yes.
And then suddenly the tables were turned. You would understand that
Yes.
you nursed him. But I feel like your husband is letting me know it doesn't matter how the years went by, he still looked at you, and the vision of you was that almost the day you met. It's like in his eyes, you didn't age a day.
I wish, but yeah.
And I know that you had the same picture of him, but I feel with his illness, you literally saw a different person. You with your husband's illness and his deterioration, you would understand that.
Yes.
And I know in those final few weeks or even a month before his passing, you and he had sat there together and discussed what's going to happen after I pass.
Oh, yeah. That's really, yeah.
But both here and in the spirit world, I feel.
Yes.
And I feel as though he was broadening his mind into the concept of the spirit world and truly looking at the possibility that the spirit world existed.
Not really. He was kind of an atheist.
Okay, then if he wasn't broadening his mind, you were doing your best to try and broaden his mind.
Yes.
Yes, because I feel that coming through. I know that there was numerous conversations that you had with him about it, and you tried your very best, and it's almost like he's here today, and he's the last person that you would have thought would have come through.
True.
But I do feel quite recently you've actually been talking to him within the spirit world, even though he wasn't a believer.
Yes.
And
Daily.
I feel like you've asked him to do this for you, for your own peace of mind.
Right.
Okay, and I just want to go back to the experience with the roof, because he's just letting me know that it poured down with rain.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
This poor man was, I'm determined, I'm soaking wet, but I'm determined. And you were quite worried about him being up on the ladder in that weather.
Yeah, he was with my son, though. Those places
However,
bad.
he did come down eventually, but reluctantly so, that I feel, because the roof, in his opinion, wasn't finished. I just wanted to snap back to that image because he wanted to give me the rain in there, and I feel that was proof, more proof for you. But going back to his passing, it's like you saw him through. You felt you had to see him through, and that's exactly what you did. He
I
was
don't know if I don't know if this is for me. I must have missed the beginning when you're describing it. My husband died all of a sudden.
no, this is a gentleman that you saw through to the end with an illness.
No.
Okay. Okay, lovely. Just stay there. Sandra, can we just see if there's anybody else there that can relate to this information?
Thank you very much. Just checking. Can anyone else take all this information? Press your raise hand button. We have Peggy with her hand raised. And
Good.
Jeanette, you know your husband is certainly with you. We just always want to find the right person as well. Hi, Peggy.
Hi.
Peggy, you can understand this information.
Yes.
And you did see him through his illness.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeanette. I want to thank you so much for putting your hand up and going through that with me. Your husband's definitely with you. Peggy, I want to say that seeing your husband through was really, really important to you. Well, in fact, essential.
Yes.
And I feel as though he's letting me know that you were right by his side. You were trying to give him the confidence and take away his fear of what he was going through.
Yes.
And I want to say to you, he's giving me the impression that I want to say to you, it was easier than he thought. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Yes. But there's, apart from that wee message, there's so much love and gratitude here. I even feel like towards the end, he would have lost a lot of his hair.
Some, I don't, not a lot, not all of it, but it got
Not
thin.
all,
Yeah.
even at the times that he thought he was, his whole physical looks, etc., were compromised, because we're talking about a gentleman that used to look after himself. You would understand that.
Yes.
And even when his whole physical look was compromised, you were still there. That love was still there. The power of the love between you and he was just, you can almost feel it walking into the room. You were, and I actually feel like somebody may have commented on that. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Because your dedication, he's just so grateful for your dedication to him and the love that you'd shared also with your children. You will understand that.
Yes.
I feel too that one of the children, I feel like you have an older son.
Correct.
And I feel like he would have actually spoken at the funeral.
No.
No. I feel like there was a gentleman that was very close to your husband that spoke at the funeral.
Yes.
Okay. Much gratitude to this gentleman. I feel your husband was almost at the back of the church listening and just full of pride that this gentleman did well on his behalf.
I can take that.
Yeah. So I would like to leave you with his love and the gratitude for your patience and your caring. And I don't only mean with his passing, I mean right through his life, because he had some ups and downs. I know you'd had some ups and downs, but the patience that you two had, even when you had a disagreement, the patience you both had to sort things out calmly.
And Shirley, today, can you hear me?
Yes, I know what you're going to say, but please continue.
Today is the day he died 6 years ago.
Yes, yes. And he's, I can hear a voice saying, "Did you think I was going to miss it?" Do you think that's what he was like?
I was hoping he wouldn't.
So I will
Thank you.
his love and his gratitude for the life you spent together and many more years to come.
Thank you, Shirley.
Thank you. Okay, now Sandra, I feel as though I have a daughter here looking for mum, and I feel as though the daughter, the daughter would have spent a lot of time in hospital. I know the passing was through an illness, but can we throw that out there, please?
Thank you very much. Who understands that information? Raise your hand, please. We have 3 ladies with their hands raised. Shirley Ann?
Okay, thank you. Now, I do feel that you would have spent a lot of time in hospital with your daughter, because I know that she went through several periods of a very serious part of her illness. There were several periods where you thought you may lose her. So you would have spent a lot of time in hospital. This is a very seriously ill young lady.
Thank you. We still have, well, we are down to 1 person with their hand raised. Everyone keep listening in because your loved ones are around. They're just speaking on behalf of all of our loved ones. Hi, Regina.
Hi.
Hey, Regina, you know, the first thing I want to say about your daughter is what a little trooper. And I feel like you would have often looked at her and admired her bravery.
Yes.
It
Yes.
was Yes, and I know that like I feel like there was even 3 specialists helping out with your daughter.
Yes.
And there was lots of, I feel like, group discussions on what's coming next, what we're doing next. This young lady had spent a long period in hospital. You would understand that.
Yes.
And I feel like at one time you had taken her home, but there was a lot of things that you had to take home in order for her to be able to function, like equipment and oxygen and things like that.
No.
No, okay. Then you would understand this was always with her in the hospital,
Yes.
because I feel everywhere she went, she had, you know, attachments, sadly.
Yes.
All righty. Okay. Now you would understand, because I feel like you would sit with her and read.
No.
No, if that's not the case, then you would sit with her while she was drawing.
No.
I feel as though I've got something on the bed in front of me and I'm doing it.
He worked from the hospital on her computer.
That'll be it, because there's something here in front of me and I'm working on. I was trying to work out what it was. Thank you for that. Now I know that this little girl, well, she's not a little girl, but I feel like at one point you would know. Yeah, I feel like she'd been through so much, her veins were collapsing.
Yes.
Yes. And I want to say to you, I'm not going to go on too much more of that, but I want to say to you, Mum, you tried your best. I feel with this young girl. You did your best in every situation that came through.
Yes.
You were her voice. Because I feel like there were decisions that you had to make that the medical profession were talking about doing something else, but you knew for your daughter, you had to be her voice.
Yes.
And I want to say to you, thank you for not giving up on me, because you were always there for her. You were the one. So, Regina, I'd like to leave you on that. Before I leave you, Regina, I feel like there was writing left by her.
Yes.
She left you a letter.
Yes.
Yes. And I know you read that often, and when you read it, it brings her close to you.
Yes. I had her signature tattooed.
Yes. At this point, I want to leave you with her love and know that those nights that are tough, those nights that are difficult, she's there with you.
I know it.
Okay. So you have a better day, Regina.
Thank you.
Want to feel a smile on your dial because that's what you
I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's always difficult with what we do, isn't it? Okay. Now I actually feel like I have Mum here with me in the spirit world. Now I know Mum, before she passed, she was really concerned about getting everything in order. I'm looking for my daughter, and I feel like I asked my daughter to sit with me and organize my paperwork. Can we throw that out, please, Sandra?
Thank you very much. If you understand that information, raise that hand. We have Brenda with her hand raised. Let's talk to Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Hey, Brenda, how are you?
Good.
Now, I know that Mum was determined to get this done. In fact, she asked you several times. It was something that you didn't want to do. Well, you knew it had to be done, but you didn't really want to do it, can I say?
Yes.
And Mum was determined. She didn't want any squabbles or anything going wrong after she passed.
Right.
And I actually feel that she put a few labels on things of who she wanted to have what.
Not labels, no.
You would understand then she told you specifically there were just a few things that needed to go to special people.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. But I can feel, and when you sat down to sort out the paperwork, it wasn't a 5-minute job, may I say, Brenda?
You may say yes.
Because there's paperwork everywhere. But Mum was very thorough.
Yes.
I feel like Mum was straightforward. She knew what she wanted, and she was very thorough in everything that she did, even when she was bringing you guys up as children. And
Yes.
she tried to instill that in you guys. If you can't do a job properly, don't do it. Don't begin it.
Uh, no.
Okay, but you would understand that she taught or tried to teach you guys to be thorough.
Yes.
And in that side, she could almost lend on to being a bit of a perfectionist, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. However, I feel like getting this paperwork together is still a bit of a chuckle within the family.
Yes.
And, you know, it just brings you humor every time that you think about it. It does bring a smile to your face. And I do feel that Mum had a great sense of humor.
Yes.
And some of her jokes, I mean, some of them weren't always politically correct, may I say?
No.
Okay, I do feel then there's somebody in the family that has a sense of humor that's not strictly politically correct,
Yes.
but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And I actually feel, Brenda, there would have been times within the family that there were large get-togethers, quite big get-togethers of family members.
Yes.
And a
Yes.
few extended because I think a few sort of got adopted along the way.
Yes.
Yeah, because I know that Mum was, you know, Mum never liked to see anybody missing out or downtrodden if she could help them.
Right.
So I know that she was very caring and had a lot of empathy for people. I do feel that before she passed, she would have lost some of her very good close friends.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's almost like I feel them all together, just raising a glass now, having that cup of tea, having that gossip, because I feel like before she passed, she was missing her friends as well.
Yes.
And she had also seen some of the messes that had been left behind when some of her friends had been passed concerning family?
I'm not sure.
Okay. But she was pleased it was all organized. And I want to say to you, after she passed, just about everything went according to plan.
Yeah,
Yeah. And she's quite pleased about that because, I almost want to pat myself on the back that I made sure that happened. And she relied on you to carry the task through.
yes,
Yeah. So you were her, I want to say, spokesman after she left, because I feel like all the situations, they weren't easy going. There was a couple of sticky ones in there you had to deal with for her.
yes,
Yeah. I want to extend that gratitude and love from Mum for doing exactly what she wanted, even though there was a bit of, I feel like from one person there was a bit of an argy-bargy, but you got through it.
right. Thank you.
So please take Mum's love and know that she's there. Every decision that you make, she's there, tapping you on the shoulder, giving you a hand.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brenda. Thank you, Sandra. I feel that's everything today.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann. What a gift you are. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this just shows how close they are. They have the same personalities. Their love is there. There's no pain, no suffering. We get to pick our best age, our best health. We continue to learn, to grow, to explore. If you need any grief resources at all, we are here for you. Of course, I've got 700 and some podcast episodes. If you don't yet have a copy of my book, We Don't Die, Chapter 10 is about grief. You can have a free copy at the bottom of the page at wedon'tdie.com. Just put in your name and email address. You get all kinds of things that pop up. A copy of my book is in there as well. We offer a free grief cafe once a month. And I know all of us will do everything we can for you. Keep talking to your loved ones. They are with you. In our toughest times, it's tough to get those signs, but they're just gentle little things. Anytime we get the ball rolling and start thinking happy memories, don't be surprised if other things pop into your mind. That's them speaking with us. So just some announcements that I have. Both Shirley Ann and Mary Alice are part of our training. They're mediums and speakers of themselves, but if you want to get involved, I personally think it's one of the best things any human being can do to find out how your soul communicates and perceives information. You never need to be a medium, but just feel how it works. Starting on the 9th or the 8th of May, our friends Carrie and Phil are be offering their next class. It's called A Gentle Path to Spirit. You can tap into your psychic and mediumistic abilities. It's for new students and continuing students. Gentle class, gentle path, and it's wonderful. On Tuesday, we have Scott Milligan doing Sitting for the Power Hours. You'll learn with all of our training that quieting the mind and just being present is a wonderful way to recharge our spiritual batteries, and it helps for healing. It helps for receiving messages from our loved ones. It does a bunch of things, but you can sit in the power with Scott. Of course, replays are included. Next week, we have Dominic Bogue back with Darren. Dominic Bogue is our medium. And then just when the Sunday gathering ends, about a half hour after, the medium Chris Jacobs will be doing a full 90-minute demonstration. They're always joyful when we have the full demonstrations. We get a taste of it on our Sunday gatherings, but we get to spend a full 90 minutes with the spirit world. Always wonderful. Everything we have coming up, you can find at wedon'tdie.com. Just click on the store page. It is simple and easy as that. While you're on the We Don't Die webpage, you can go to the Sunday Gathering page. There you can find past Sunday gatherings. You can register for upcoming ones. And a shout out to our generous folks who have donated to make the Sunday Gathering possible. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. You'll also find the donation link should you ever wish to donate. You'll find that there on the Sunday Gathering page. I have 2 new episodes of podcasts that you really might enjoy. One is Mark Ireland. He, as a bereaved father, went on to be the co-founder of Helping Parents Heal, with now over 35,000 members worldwide. He's got some really interesting stories of afterlife communication and so much more. I also have Dr. Bob Davis, who is a scientist discussing so many different ways our loved ones communicate with us. Pretty powerful stuff. So, what else do I want to say? Just a few words from me on our topic this week: living through uncertainty and the what ifs and what's going to happen and all that. There's a little tool that we can use. And what this is if we take some time and we have a running list of all of our accomplishments. Now, we never want to toot our own horn, do we? No, we don't, because we're hard on ourselves. It's much easier to be hard on ourselves than look at what we have done. But if you were to write down a little journal, a little page of just things you've accomplished, keep that list going, and you're going to see pretty soon this powerhouse of a human being who's accomplished a lot, who's withstood a lot, who's been through tough times and has survived. And when you're in a time of uncertainty, take Mary Alice's advice, sure, like the condominium unit wasn't built yet, right? Things are brewing. But look at that piece of paper. That human being can endure and get through anything. And you will rise above. And not only that, sometime in the future, you're just the person that needs to share with an individual to make all the difference in the world. Little did Mary Alice know, through her toughest times, she gave a huge gift to 150 plus people that were listening to her message today. So trust that. That's all the announcements that I have. What I'd like to do is pass it over to Shirley Ann for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra, and thank you so much, Mary Alice. If we could just join together in the quiet and close your eyes if need be. Divine and loving Spirit, we are so grateful for this gathering. We are so grateful that we have been able to join hands all around the world and join hands with you in the other world. Bringing the two worlds together is so special. It's a gift within itself. It's a gift to each and every person here to be able to feel their loved one beside them, cuddling them, in whatever fashion, feeling that loved one close once again. As we know, the grief that we feel at times is so severe, and the uncertainty in life, as Mary Alice has spoken about, is so intense. So we give thanks for these sorts of gatherings that we can all draw close, feel our power igniting each other, feel that love just surrounding each other, feel our loved ones' love reinforcing all of that. We're very lucky, and we give thanks for that. We give thanks that you are in our lives constantly. We give thanks in the knowing that we do not stand alone. We do not walk alone. Divine and loving Spirit, we thank you from the bottom of our hearts once more. Until next week, Amen.
Thank you so much, Shirley Ann, and thank you, Mary Alice. To everyone who's watching or listening, we thank you for being part of our community, and most definitely to our friends and family in the spirit world. We're going to do our very best to be present and send our love and trust the signs and subtle messages you're giving us. As we go into our closing songs, beautiful song that Shirley Ann recommended. It's the artist Pink with her daughter Willow Sage, and it's just such a heartwarming song that'll leave a smile on your face. So let me play that for you now. That's beautiful. Oh, my heart is filled with love. Friends, we love you. We will see you next Sunday, if not sooner. Thanks again, Mary Alice and Shirley Ann. Mwah. Bye, everyone.